Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. But the question is, are you truly in control of it? Life doesn't offer smooth roads or predictable outcomes. Instead, it presents challenges, obstacles, and unexpected twists that test your resilience. Stress, setbacks, and uncertainty are part of the human experience. But what if you could train your mind to face them head-on, with calm, unwavering confidence? Imagine a state of mind so steady, so unshakable, that no challenge could throw you off course. This isn't a fantasy, it's achievable. And the wisdom to unlock this potential lies closer than you think. The ancient teachings remind us of a simple yet profound truth. What you think, you become. And if your thoughts determine your reality, then mental mastery is not just an advantage, it's essential. Life's difficulties don't disappear when you strengthen your mind, but they do transform. They become stepping stones instead of roadblocks, lessons instead of failures. There's power in knowing that the struggles you face are not meant to break you. They're meant to mold you, to refine you into someone stronger and wiser. But to harness this power, you must first shift the way you see hardship. Too often, we view difficulties as burdens, as things to avoid or escape. But the key to building mental strength lies in embracing them. Challenges are not obstacles. They are invitations to grow. When you cultivate an anti-fragile mindset, you realize that the very things meant to break, you can become the catalysts for your transformation. Instead of fearing setbacks or feeling overwhelmed by obstacles, you begin to view them as opportunities. Every difficulty holds a hidden lesson, a chance to build endurance, improve problem-solving skills, and deepen your understanding of yourself. Life stops being something you merely endure and becomes something you actively shape. In Buddhism, suffering is not seen as something to be avoided at all costs. It's viewed as a powerful teacher, one that reveals the depth of your resilience and the truth of your character. Instead of resisting discomfort, embrace it with an open heart and a calm mind. It's in this acceptance that true strength is born. Each challenge you face offers you a moment to pause, reflect, and grow. You learn not by running from pain, but by working through it. And as you do, you become someone who doesn't just survive tough situations. You thrive because of them. To cultivate this mindset, you don't have to face monumental challenges right away. Start small. Step outside of your comfort zone intentionally. Take on tasks that push your limits in minor ways, such as learning a new skill or dealing with daily inconveniences without frustration. Each small victory adds to your reservoir of confidence and resilience, preparing you for the larger challenges that life will inevitably present. Over time, what once seemed overwhelming will feel manageable, and what once felt like a threat will become just another stepping stone. But mental strength isn't just about what you face externally. It's about how you manage your internal world. One of the greatest obstacles to this strength is being consumed by your thoughts and emotions. Negative thoughts can spiral out of control, creating a sense of hopelessness that feels suffocating. But you are not your thoughts, and they do not control you unless you let them. Mastering the art of psychological distancing allows you to step back and observe your thoughts as if you were watching them from a distance. Instead of getting caught up in the chaos, you become a calm observer. Buddhist teachings liken thoughts and emotions to passing clouds. They drift in and out of your mind, but they don't define who you are. By observing your thoughts without attaching to them, you can break the cycle of negativity. When anxiety, fear, or anger arises, take a moment to pause and remind yourself that these emotions are temporary. They do not have to dictate your actions. You are in control, and you have the power to decide how you respond. Practicing mindfulness meditation is a powerful way to cultivate this awareness. By sitting in stillness and observing your thoughts without judgment, you train your mind to detach from them. Another technique involves mentally labeling your emotions instead of becoming them. Instead of saying, "I am angry," try saying, "I am experiencing anger." This simple shift creates space between you and the emotion, allowing you to see it for what it is, a temporary state, not a permanent identity. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to stay calm under pressure, make rational decisions, and maintain inner peace. Life's storms will still come, but they won't be able to shake you as they once did. Building mental strength also requires cognitive endurance, the ability to stay focused, composed, and resilient even when faced with prolonged difficulties. Just as physical strength is built through consistent effort, so too is mental strength. Discomfort training is a key component of this process. By gradually exposing yourself to challenging situations, you teach your mind to manage stress, uncertainty, and adversity without feeling overwhelmed. You learn to sit with discomfort instead of running from it, and in doing so, you rewire your brain to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats. Think of it like building a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Engaging in activities that push your limits, such as meditating for extended periods or practicing patience in frustrating situations, helps you develop the mental toughness needed to face life's inevitable hardships. Simple daily habits, like waking up early or completing tasks you don't feel motivated to do, contribute to this growth. Over time, you'll find that situations that once felt unbearable are now manageable. You've trained your mind to endure discomfort and, more importantly, to thrive despite it. But strength is not just about enduring. It's about protecting yourself from negativity. The world is full of external pressures, toxic influences, and self-doubt. Developing a mental fortress means creating a resilient mind that isn't easily swayed by negativity, but remains open to growth and positivity. Just as you wouldn't consume harmful substances, you shouldn't allow negative thoughts and influences to take root in your mind. They will only grow and overshadow your peace if left unchecked. Building this mental fortress starts with awareness. Pay attention to the content you consume, the people you surround yourself with, and the thoughts you entertain. Filter out negativity and replace it with empowering, constructive beliefs. When negative thoughts arise, recognize them without judgment and consciously shift your focus to something positive. Practice gratitude, repeat affirmations, and look for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Create daily rituals that nurture your mental well-being, such as journaling, meditating, or reflecting on positive experiences. These small actions collectively fortify your mind, making it less susceptible to the noise and chaos of the external world. The beauty of this journey is that you don't have to be perfect. Mistakes will happen, setbacks will arise, but that's part of the process. What matters is that you continue to show up, to practice, and to grow. The mind, like any muscle, becomes stronger with consistent effort. And as you strengthen your mind, you'll discover that life's challenges no longer feel like battles to be won. They become lessons, each one an opportunity to become a more resilient, empowered version of yourself. The journey to mental mastery is not a linear path, and it's not one you need to rush. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to a mind that is steady, unshakable, and fully under your control. Part of this journey involves learning how to transform discomfort into growth. The world around you is constantly changing, and with it comes uncertainty. But rather than seeing uncertainty as a threat, what if you could reframe it as a chance to build cognitive endurance? Imagine viewing difficult moments not as setbacks, but as training grounds where your mind learns to thrive under pressure. In Buddhist teachings, life's inevitable discomfort is not something to avoid, but to embrace. Trying to run from pain or inconvenience only weakens you, creating a fragile mind that shatters at the slightest challenge. Instead, when you face discomfort head-on, you build resilience that becomes the foundation of a strong mind. Cognitive endurance is developed through repeated exposure to situations that push your limits. Whether it's emotional struggles, physical challenges, or moments of uncertainty. The key is to stretch yourself gradually, just enough to grow without overwhelming your system. Start small, by intentionally placing yourself in situations that test your patience or determination. For example, practice staying calm during long waits or maintain your composure during minor inconveniences. Over time, you'll notice that your tolerance for discomfort increases and your ability to remain composed during bigger challenges improves. Meditation is a powerful tool in this process because it teaches you how to sit with discomfort without reacting impulsively. The stillness you cultivate on the meditation cushion translates into calmness during life's storms. You develop the ability to breathe through challenges, knowing that the discomfort will pass, but the strength you gain will stay with you. As you develop this resilience, you also begin to construct what can be called a mental fortress, a protective barrier that shields you from the negativity that bombards your mind daily. Negativity comes in many forms: self-doubt, fear, toxic influences, and external pressures. If left unchecked, these forces can undermine your progress and drain your energy. But with a fortified mind, you're able to block out these harmful influences while allowing positive, constructive thoughts to take root and grow. Building this mental fortress starts with mindfulness. Pay close attention to the thoughts that enter your mind, the people you interact with, and the media you consume. Just as you'd be mindful of what you put into your body, you must be mindful of what you feed your mind. If you consume negativity, whether through news, social media, or toxic relationships, it will poison your inner peace. But when you cultivate positive influences, uplifting conversations, inspiring books, or affirmations of self-worth, you create a foundation that's nearly impossible to shake. When negative thoughts arise, don't try to suppress or ignore them. Instead, acknowledge them without judgment and choose to redirect your focus. Replace thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," with affirmations like, "I am growing and evolving." Replace self-criticism with self-compassion. By doing this consistently, you rewire your brain to automatically gravitate toward positive, empowering thoughts. Gratitude is another powerful tool in this process. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you shift your perspective and invite abundance into your life. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a practice that, when cultivated daily, strengthens your mental defenses against negativity. But building a mental fortress doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means creating boundaries that protect your energy while still allowing you to connect meaningfully with others. Choose to spend time with people who uplift you, who encourage your growth, and who challenge you in constructive ways. Distance yourself from those who drain your energy or diminish your confidence. Your environment matters more than you think, and surrounding yourself with positivity will naturally reinforce the mental strength you're cultivating. As you continue this journey, you'll encounter moments of pain, emotional, physical, or even spiritual. But pain is not your enemy. In fact, it can become one of your greatest teachers. Through the practice of emotional alchemy, you can transform pain into power. Emotional alchemy is the process of taking the raw, often overwhelming emotions that accompany pain and turning them into fuel for growth. It's about allowing yourself to feel fully, to process the emotions rather than suppress them, and to emerge on the other side stronger and more resilient. The first step in this transformation is acceptance. Acknowledge your pain without judgment. Too often, we push pain away, thinking that if we ignore it long enough, it will disappear. But pain that is ignored doesn't vanish. It festers. By accepting it, you take the first step toward healing. Sit with your pain, breathe through it, and ask yourself what it's trying to teach you. Every experience, no matter how painful, holds a lesson. Maybe it's teaching you patience, empathy, or the importance of setting boundaries. Maybe it's showing you areas of your life that need change or attention. Practicing mindfulness during painful moments can help you process emotions in a healthy way. Instead of letting them control you, observe them. Notice the physical sensations in your body, the thoughts that accompany the pain, and the stories you tell yourself about it. Mindfulness allows you to create space between you and the emotion, giving you the clarity to respond rather than react. Over time, you'll find that pain becomes less overwhelming. It no longer has the power to consume you because you've learned to face it head-on and extract the wisdom it offers. Perspective is another key element of emotional alchemy. Instead of viewing pain as something negative, see it as an opportunity for growth. Just as fire refines gold, challenges refine your character. Reflect on past experiences where pain led to growth or transformation. Let those memories serve as reminders that you have the strength to overcome whatever you're facing now. Cultivating gratitude even during difficult times can help shift your mindset. It may seem counterintuitive, but finding something to be grateful for, even in the midst of pain, can help you see the situation in a new light. Self-compassion is essential in this process. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend going through a tough time. Replace self-criticism with affirmations of self-love. Remind yourself that pain is temporary, but the growth it brings can be lasting. By embracing emotional alchemy, you train your mind to see every challenge as an opportunity for transformation. Over time, you'll find that pain no longer holds you back. Instead, it propels you forward, making you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but with patience and practice, you'll notice a shift. You'll see how the mind, when properly trained, becomes an ally rather than an adversary. It becomes a tool you can use to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. And as you master this process, you'll find yourself tapping into the full potential of your mind, unlocking strengths you didn't know you had, and discovering a sense of inner peace that can't be shaken by external circumstances. This is the power of a mind in control, strong, resilient, and free. Your thoughts have a way of shaping your reality. They're like seeds. Whatever you plant and nurture will grow. If you constantly feed your mind with doubt, fear, and negativity, those seeds will take root and spread, overshadowing any potential for growth. But the same is true for positive thoughts. When you intentionally plant seeds of self-belief, resilience, and possibility, you can cultivate a garden of strength within you. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's the foundation of rewiring your brain to think constructively, even in the face of adversity. Your brain is malleable, capable of forming new pathways through repetition and intentional thought loops. If you've ever found yourself stuck in a spiral of negative thinking, you've experienced the power of habit firsthand. But here's the good news. You can break free from those old patterns. The same way your brain can be conditioned to default to negativity, it can also be retrained to embrace positivity, resilience, and confidence. This rewiring begins with one simple yet profound practice: intentionally choosing the thoughts you feed your mind every day. Affirmations are a powerful tool for this process. They're not just empty phrases. They're carefully chosen statements designed to reshape the way you perceive yourself and the world around you. By repeating affirmations such as, "I am resilient," "I am capable of handling any challenge," or "I have the strength to overcome obstacles," you begin to shift your internal dialogue. At first, it may feel forced, but over time, those words sink in and create new mental pathways. What once felt like blind hope transforms into genuine belief. You're no longer repeating affirmations because you want them to be true. You're saying them because you know they are true. But affirmations alone aren't enough. They need to be paired with mindfulness and awareness of your thought patterns. Throughout the day, your mind naturally drifts toward familiar thoughts. And if you're not paying attention, it's easy to fall back into old habits of self-doubt or worry. Mindfulness helps you catch these negative thoughts before they spiral out of control. When you notice yourself thinking, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough," pause and consciously replace that thought with something empowering, like, "I am capable," or "I will find a way." The more you practice this, the quicker you'll become at redirecting your thoughts until positivity becomes your default state. Visualization is another powerful technique for rewiring your brain. It works because your mind doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. When you visualize yourself succeeding, staying calm under pressure, and overcoming challenges, your brain begins to accept those scenarios as reality. The more you visualize positive outcomes, the more confident you become in your ability to achieve them. Visualization doesn't just inspire you, it conditions your brain to expect success, making it easier to manifest that success in your daily life. This intentional rewiring of your thoughts builds a mental environment where challenges are no longer viewed as threats, but as opportunities for growth. You begin to see life not as something that happens to you, but as something you create with your mindset, choices, and actions. Obstacles lose their power over you because you've trained your mind to focus on solutions rather than problems. Even when faced with setbacks, you don't spiral into despair. Instead, you ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can this experience make me stronger?" One of the most liberating shifts you'll experience is the realization that you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. Too often, people equate strength with flawlessness, believing that mistakes or failures are signs of weakness. But the truth is, mistakes are inevitable, and they're an essential part of growth. What matters is how you respond to them. Radical acceptance, a concept deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings, invites you to embrace reality as it is, both the good and the bad, without resistance or judgment. When you accept what you cannot change, you free yourself from unnecessary mental struggle. Radical acceptance doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means recognizing that certain things are beyond your control and choosing to focus your energy on what you can influence. When faced with unexpected challenges, instead of fighting against them or wishing things were different, you accept the situation as it is. This acceptance allows you to move forward with clarity and purpose, rather than getting stuck in frustration or denial. When something goes wrong, the mind often creates a spiral of what-if scenarios. What if I had done this differently? Or, what if things don't get better? But these thoughts are rooted in resistance to reality. By practicing radical acceptance, you ground yourself in the present moment and acknowledge that what's done is done. The only thing that matters now is your next step. With acceptance comes the freedom to act without the weight of regret or fear. You're no longer burdened by the past or paralyzed by the future. You're fully engaged in the here and now, where real change happens. Breathing exercises and mindfulness meditation can help you develop this practice. When you feel overwhelmed by a situation, take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and remind yourself, this is where I am right now, and I have the strength to handle it. As you focus on your breath, you bring yourself back to the present moment, creating a sense of calm that allows you to think more clearly and make better decisions. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and you find yourself responding to challenges with grace rather than panic. Acceptance also applies to how you treat yourself. Too often, people are their own harshest critics, dwelling on mistakes and failures as if they define their worth. But radical acceptance invites you to extend the same compassion to yourself that you would offer a friend. When you make a mistake, instead of berating yourself, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward. Self-compassion isn't about excusing poor choices. It's about recognizing that you're human, and that growth comes from understanding, not punishment. With this perspective, setbacks become stepping stones, not roadblocks. You stop viewing challenges as things to avoid and start seeing them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow. The next best move mentality is key here. When life feels overwhelming or uncertain, don't focus on the entire problem or the distant outcome. Instead, focus on the next small, achievable action that moves you forward. Maybe it's sending an email, taking a walk to clear your mind, or reflecting on your options. Whatever it is, the important thing is that you take action, no matter how small. Progress doesn't require giant leaps. It's built through consistent, intentional steps. By focusing on what you can do right now, you break free from the paralysis of overthinking and build momentum. Each small success reinforces your belief in your ability to handle challenges, creating a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. This approach is deeply rooted in mindfulness, which teaches you to stay present, make conscious choices, and trust that even small steps can lead to profound change over time. With this mindset, life's uncertainties no longer feel like threats. You develop the resilience to adapt, the clarity to navigate challenges, and the wisdom to know when to push forward and when to step back. Your mind, once a battleground of doubt and fear, becomes a sanctuary of strength and purpose. And as you continue to cultivate this inner power, you'll find that nothing, not setbacks, not mistakes, not even failure, can stop you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Imagine living with a mind so sharp and steady that no amount of noise, chaos, or uncertainty could pull you off course. This isn't a fantasy. It's the outcome of mastering strategic isolation. In today's hyper-connected world, your attention is constantly under siege. Notifications, messages, and endless streams of information compete for your focus, leaving you mentally drained and emotionally scattered. But what if you could step back from the noise, recalibrate, and emerge stronger, more focused, and with a deeper sense of purpose? Strategic isolation is not about cutting yourself off from the world permanently. It's about intentionally creating moments of solitude to reflect, refocus, and recharge. In Buddhism, solitude is often seen as a path to self-discovery and inner peace. Monks retreat into silence not to escape life, but to better understand themselves and their minds. You don't need to live in a monastery to benefit from this practice, but you do need to carve out time for silence in your daily life. Even brief moments of isolation can have profound effects. When you step away from external distractions, you create space to listen to your inner voice without the constant noise of other people's opinions or societal pressures. You gain clarity on what truly matters to you. You begin to distinguish between what you want and what the world tells you to want. This clarity helps you make decisions that align with your values, goals, and sense of purpose. It strengthens your mental resilience by giving you a solid foundation to stand on, even when external circumstances are uncertain or challenging. Solitude also allows you to process emotions that you might otherwise suppress or ignore. When you're constantly busy or distracted, it's easy to avoid dealing with uncomfortable feelings. But those emotions don't disappear. They linger beneath the surface, affecting your mood, behavior, and overall mental well-being. Strategic isolation gives you the time and space to sit with those emotions, observe them, and let them pass naturally. This process prevents emotional buildup and promotes long-term emotional stability. Practicing strategic isolation doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as turning off your phone for an hour, taking a walk in nature, or spending time journaling in a quiet room. The key is to be intentional about it. Don't just disconnect for the sake of disconnecting. Do it with the purpose of reconnecting with yourself. As you practice this regularly, you'll notice a shift. You'll become more comfortable with silence and solitude, and you'll start to view them not as empty spaces, but as sacred opportunities for growth. One of the most powerful benefits of strategic isolation is the enhancement of your problem-solving abilities. When you step away from the noise, your mind has the freedom to think deeply and creatively. You're no longer reacting to the immediate demands of the outside world. Instead, you're giving yourself the mental space to explore new perspectives, brainstorm solutions, and find clarity in complex situations. This is why some of the greatest breakthroughs often happen during moments of solitude. As you become more comfortable with isolation, you'll also become more self-aware. You'll notice patterns in your thoughts, behaviors, and emotional responses. This awareness is crucial for personal growth because you can't change what you don't understand. The more you understand yourself, the more intentional you can be about your actions and decisions. You'll start to recognize when you're being driven by fear, when you're falling into old habits, or when you're straying from your purpose. And with this awareness, you can course correct before those patterns take hold. But balance is essential. While solitude is beneficial, excessive isolation can lead to feelings of loneliness or disconnection. The goal is not to withdraw from life, but to engage with it more meaningfully. By combining moments of solitude with intentional social interactions, you create a healthy balance that supports your overall well-being. When you do interact with others, you'll notice that your conversations are deeper, your connections are more authentic, and your presence is more grounded. This is because you've taken the time to understand yourself, and that self-awareness radiates outward. Another critical aspect of mental strength is adopting the warrior's perspective on challenges. Life will throw unexpected obstacles your way, but how you respond to them defines your growth. The warrior's perspective, deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy, teaches you to view challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for self-mastery. A warrior doesn't shy away from difficulty. They face it head-on, knowing that each battle, whether won or lost, brings them closer to their true strength. Mental discipline is at the core of this mindset. Just as a physical warrior trains their body, a mental warrior trains their mind. They develop focus, patience, and emotional stability through consistent practices like meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection. These practices are not about avoiding challenges, but about preparing for them. When you cultivate discipline, you build the ability to remain calm and focused, even when everything around you is chaotic. You learn to act with intention, rather than react impulsively, which gives you a significant advantage in any situation. Adaptability is another key trait of the warrior's mindset. Life rarely goes as planned, and rigid expectations often lead to disappointment. But a true warrior is flexible. They know how to adjust their strategy, shift their perspective, and find opportunities even in the midst of adversity. This adaptability is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It allows you to bend without breaking, to flow with life's changes rather than resist them. Courage lies at the heart of the warrior's journey. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to move forward despite it. Fear is a natural response to uncertainty, but it doesn't have to control you. When you embrace fear as a companion on your journey rather than an enemy, you disarm it. Instead of running from it, you learn to face it, understand it, and grow through it. In doing so, you discover that fear often marks the threshold of growth. What lies beyond it is a version of you that is stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever imagined. Inner peace is the warrior's greatest weapon. True warriors are not constantly engaged in battle. They seek mastery over their own minds. By practicing mindfulness, they cultivate a sense of stability that external circumstances cannot shake. This inner peace doesn't mean they don't experience stress or difficulty. It means they've learned how to navigate those experiences without being consumed by them. They carry their peace with them, using it as a shield against the chaos of the outside world. Perseverance is what keeps the warrior moving forward. Setbacks are inevitable, but they're not the end of the journey. They're lessons, opportunities to refine your skills and strengthen your resolve. A warrior doesn't measure success by the absence of failure. They measure it by their ability to rise after every fall. With this mindset, you develop the patience and tenacity needed to achieve long-term success. You understand that progress isn't always immediate, but it's always possible if you keep moving forward. The warrior's path is not one of aggression or control. It's one of inner mastery. By adopting this mindset, you empower yourself to face life's challenges with grace, strength, and determination. You become someone who is not easily shaken, who doesn't give up at the first sign of difficulty, and who continuously seeks growth. With this perspective, you transform obstacles into stepping stones and challenges into opportunities. No matter what life throws your way, you face it with the confidence of someone who knows they are unshakable. Your journey toward mental mastery is as much about resilience as it is about surrender. At first, the idea of surrender may seem counterintuitive, especially when we're taught to fight, to push forward, and to control outcomes. But true power doesn't come from constant resistance. It comes from knowing when to let go. This is the essence of radical acceptance and the ability to flow with life rather than against it. When you embrace this flow, you discover a strength that doesn't waver, a calmness that remains even when life feels chaotic. Radical acceptance is the practice of acknowledging reality exactly as it is, without resistance, denial, or judgment. It's not about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the mental struggle of wishing things were different. When you resist reality, you create unnecessary suffering. But when you accept what is, you allow yourself to focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. This shift in perspective is liberating. It releases you from the burden of what ifs and should have beens and grounds you firmly in the present moment. Imagine facing a situation where things haven't gone as planned. Maybe you didn't get the promotion you worked hard for, or a relationship you valued came to an unexpected end. The immediate reaction is often frustration, regret, or anger. But staying stuck in those emotions doesn't change the outcome. It only prolongs your suffering. Radical acceptance allows you to feel those emotions, acknowledge them, and then let them pass. You don't suppress them, nor do you let them define you. Instead, you process them with compassion and move forward with clarity. One of the most powerful ways to practice radical acceptance is through mindfulness meditation. When you sit in stillness and focus on your breath, you create space to observe your thoughts without getting entangled in them. You notice the stories your mind creates, the judgments it places on situations, and the emotions that arise. But instead of reacting to them, you simply observe. Over time, this practice trains you to respond to life's challenges with acceptance rather than resistance. You begin to see that reality isn't the problem. It's our attachment to how we think things should be that causes pain. Radical acceptance also applies to how you view yourself. Too often, we carry the weight of self-judgment, blaming ourselves for past mistakes or perceived failures. But self-criticism only holds you back. True growth comes from accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. When you let go of the need to be perfect, you free yourself to learn, to evolve, and to grow without the constant burden of self-doubt. Self-compassion is an essential part of this process. It means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. When you stumble, instead of harsh criticism, you offer encouragement. When you face setbacks, you remind yourself that they are temporary and part of the learning process. This mindset doesn't mean you don't strive for improvement. It means you approach growth from a place of self-love rather than self-punishment. You recognize that mistakes are not failures, they're lessons. And with each lesson learned, you become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. When you embrace radical acceptance, you cultivate a deep sense of inner peace. You're no longer fighting reality or yourself. You're working with life, adapting to its changes, and growing through its challenges. Another key component of mental strength is adopting the next best move mentality. Life can feel overwhelming, especially when you're facing major challenges or uncertainty. But instead of getting stuck in analysis paralysis, wondering how to solve the entire problem at once, focus on the next immediate action you can take. The next best move mentality is about breaking down big challenges into small, manageable steps. You don't have to have the entire path figured out. You just need to know the next step. In moments of overwhelm, pause and ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation, even just a little? It could be something as simple as sending an email, taking a short break to clear your mind, or reflecting on your options. What matters is that you take action. Each small step builds momentum and confidence, creating a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. This approach is deeply rooted in mindfulness, which emphasizes being present and taking deliberate, purposeful action. One of the biggest obstacles to progress is the tendency to focus too much on long-term outcomes. While having goals is important, becoming overly fixated on the end result can create stress and self-doubt. The next best move mentality shifts the focus to what you can do right now, making progress feel achievable rather than overwhelming. For example, if you're going through a major life transition, whether it's a career change, a personal loss, or a new goal, thinking about everything that needs to be done can feel paralyzing. But when you break it down into small, actionable steps, the path forward becomes clearer. This mentality also builds resilience. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to fall into a mindset of defeat. But by focusing on the next best move, you remind yourself that setbacks are not the end. They're part of the journey. You avoid getting stuck in regret or frustration, and instead stay proactive and solution-oriented. Even if you stumble, you know that you can always take another step forward. With each step, you're reinforcing your ability to handle challenges and demonstrating to yourself that progress is always possible. Mindfulness is an essential part of this practice. By staying present and aware of your thoughts and emotions, you can make conscious choices rather than reacting impulsively. When you're mindful, you're less likely to be overwhelmed by negative thoughts or fears about the future. Instead, you focus on what you can do in the present moment, where real change happens. This approach doesn't just help you make progress, it helps you stay calm and grounded throughout the process. Sometimes, the next best move might be something as simple as resting, reflecting, or seeking support. Progress isn't always about action. It's also about knowing when to pause and recharge. By honoring your needs and trusting the process, you develop a sense of patience and self-compassion that supports your overall well-being. This balance between action and rest is crucial for long-term success. It prevents burnout and ensures that you're making decisions from a place of clarity rather than desperation. The next best move mentality creates a cycle of positive reinforcement. Each small success builds momentum and strengthens your belief in your ability to handle life's challenges. Over time, you develop a mindset that is flexible, adaptable, and resilient. You're no longer paralyzed by the unknown or overwhelmed by the size of your goals. Instead, you trust that each step you take brings you closer to the life you want to create. With this mindset, you approach challenges with confidence and clarity, knowing that you have everything you need to overcome them, one step at a time. As you continue to practice this, you'll find that life's uncertainties become less daunting. You've trained your mind to stay calm under pressure, to adapt when things don't go as planned, and to view challenges as opportunities for growth. You're no longer trying to control every outcome. You're flowing with life, making thoughtful decisions, and trusting the journey. This is the power of a mind that knows its strength, a mind that is both resilient and at peace. It's a mind that no challenge can break, and one that can navigate even the most turbulent waters with grace. In a world that demands constant movement, decision-making, and multitasking, the ability to focus your energy and train your mind is a rare but essential skill. To cultivate lasting mental strength, you must go beyond temporary motivation and embrace a long-term approach that rewires the way you think, feel, and act. One of the most effective ways to do this is through intentional thought loops. These are repetitive, empowering thoughts or affirmations that you consciously feed your mind until they become automatic. Every day, your mind runs on patterns, some helpful, others destructive. If your thoughts are rooted in fear, doubt, or insecurity, those patterns will become stronger the more you engage with them. But the opposite is also true. If you feed your mind with affirmations of resilience, confidence, and growth, you can rewire your brain to default to positivity, even when facing difficulties. The process takes time, but with consistency, it's possible to create a mental environment where success feels inevitable and obstacles become manageable. Start by choosing a set of affirmations that resonate with your goals. These could be statements like, "I am resilient," "I am capable of overcoming challenges," or "I am in control of my thoughts." Repeat them daily, whether during meditation, journaling, or moments of quiet reflection. At first, they may feel like empty words, especially if your current reality doesn't reflect them. But the power of affirmations lies in their repetition. Over time, your brain begins to internalize them, creating new neural pathways that support your growth and self-belief. To make this practice even more effective, pair it with visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding in situations where you once struggled. See yourself staying calm under pressure, handling conflicts with grace, and achieving your goals with confidence. The more vividly you visualize these scenarios, the more your brain accepts them as possible outcomes. Visualization isn't just about dreaming. It's about training your mind to believe in a reality that you're actively working toward. As your belief strengthens, so does your ability to manifest that reality. But what happens when negative thoughts inevitably creep in? Even the strongest minds experience moments of doubt or fear. The difference lies in how you respond to them. When a negative thought arises, don't fight it or suppress it. That only gives it more power. Instead, acknowledge it, label it, and then consciously shift your focus to a more empowering thought. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," pause and replace that thought with, "I am constantly improving," and that's enough. This simple practice prevents negative thoughts from taking root and spiraling out of control. It also reinforces your ability to choose your thoughts, which is one of the most powerful forms of mental freedom. You're no longer a passive observer of your mind. You're an active participant, shaping your mental landscape with intention and purpose. Over time, this mental discipline builds resilience, making it easier to bounce back from setbacks and maintain a positive outlook, even in challenging situations. As you continue this practice, you'll notice that your overall mindset shifts. What once felt like overwhelming challenges will start to feel like temporary hurdles. You'll approach difficulties with curiosity instead of fear, asking yourself, "What can I learn from this?" rather than, "Why is this happening to me?" This shift in perspective is crucial because it turns every experience, good or bad, into an opportunity for growth. You stop seeing life as something you need to survive and start seeing it as a journey of discovery and self-mastery. The ability to maintain this perspective requires another important practice: embracing the power of rest and reflection. In a society that glorifies productivity, it's easy to feel guilty for slowing down. But rest is not a sign of weakness. It's a necessary component of growth. Just as muscles need time to recover after a workout, your mind needs periods of rest to process information, heal from stress, and recharge. Without rest, you risk burnout, which can undo much of the progress you've made. Reflection is equally important. Take time to evaluate your experiences, both the successes and the failures. Ask yourself what worked, what didn't, and what you can do differently moving forward. This self-assessment helps you refine your approach and avoid repeating mistakes. It also allows you to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Too often, people focus on what they haven't achieved yet, forgetting to acknowledge how far they've already come. By reflecting on your growth, you reinforce your belief in your ability to overcome future challenges. Incorporating moments of gratitude into your reflection can further enhance its benefits. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. It reminds you that, even in difficult times, there is something to be thankful for. This doesn't mean ignoring hardships. It means acknowledging them while also recognizing the blessings that exist alongside them. Gratitude creates a sense of balance, helping you maintain perspective and avoid getting overwhelmed by negative emotions. Another crucial aspect of building mental strength is developing a warrior-like approach to life's challenges. But unlike the traditional image of a warrior who fights external battles, the mental warrior's greatest victories are won within. This mindset involves discipline, adaptability, and the courage to face fear head-on. Life will test you, but a true warrior doesn't back down. They embrace challenges as opportunities to grow stronger and more resilient. Discipline is the foundation of this mindset. Without it, even the best intentions can fall apart. Discipline means showing up for yourself every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's the commitment to your growth, your goals, and your well-being, no matter how difficult the journey may be. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means consistency. It means taking small steps forward, even on the days when progress feels slow. Adaptability is another key trait of the mental warrior. Life is unpredictable, and rigid expectations can lead to frustration and disappointment. But when you approach life with flexibility, you're able to adjust your strategy and flow with the changes. This doesn't mean abandoning your goals. It means finding new paths to reach them. Adaptability allows you to see obstacles not as dead ends, but as detours that may lead to even greater opportunities. Courage is what fuels the warrior's journey. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward despite it. Fear is a natural part of growth, and the presence of fear often indicates that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. Embrace it. Let it be a signal that you're on the edge of transformation. As you face your fears, you'll discover that many of them are illusions created by the mind to protect you from the unknown. But beyond those fears lies a version of yourself that is stronger, braver, and more capable than you can imagine. Inner peace is the warrior's ultimate weapon. It's not something you find by avoiding conflict or challenges. It's something you cultivate by mastering your mind. When you have inner peace, external circumstances lose their power over you. You no longer react impulsively to stress or adversity. Instead, you respond with clarity, calmness, and intention. This inner stability allows you to navigate life's uncertainties with grace, knowing that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. The journey to mental mastery is not about eliminating challenges. It's about changing your relationship with them. It's about building a mind that is resilient, adaptable, and deeply rooted in self-belief. As you continue to practice intentional thought loops, strategic isolation, radical acceptance, and the next best move mentality, you'll find that your mind becomes your greatest ally. No longer a battlefield of doubt and fear, it becomes a sanctuary of strength and purpose. And with this strength, there is no obstacle too great, no setback too overwhelming. You've unlocked a power within you that is limitless, and with it, you can create a life filled with meaning, resilience, and peace.